Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, State Attorney General Kris Mayes joins us to talk about attending yesterday's U.S. Supreme Court hearing on Trump administration tariffs. And Arizonans are cutting back on spending. What could that mean to the funding of state programs? Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Arizona Attorney General Kris Mayes attended yesterday's U.S. Supreme Court hearing on a lawsuit that she and the Attorney General of Oregon led that challenges the constitutionality of Trump administration's tariffs. Mayes is also involved in a lawsuit challenging the federal government's reduction of SNAP benefits and a case involving the swearing in of Arizona Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva. We welcome State Attorney General Kris Mayes to Arizona Horizon. Good to have. Did I get that right? You and the guy from Oregon
yes.
kind of leads on this.
Dan Rayfield, Oregon AG. We co-led the lawsuit against the tariffs.
Okay.
We're the plaintiffs.
Is that why you were there? Because I was going to ask, why did you attend this particular hearing?
Yes, so we're the lead states, Arizona and Oregon, and we sort of carried the ball through the first two phases, which was we won in the Court of International Trade. And then we won in the federal appellate court. It's called Federal Circuit, which is where appeals come from, the Court of International Trade.
How does this work? I mean, because I think the Attorney General from Oregon actually made the presentation, made the oral arguments.
Yes.
How much did you help? How much did you prepare? How involved were you?
So we had actually two plaintiffs in this case. So there was one group of businesses that are being impacted by the tariffs. There were plaintiffs. Their lawyer was Neil Katyal, and then our lawyer for the states that are suing. There are 12 states, including Arizona and me. Were led by the Solicitor General for the state of Oregon, who works for the Attorney General of Oregon. But anyway, we worked on the drafts together of the complaint of the lawsuit, and then helped them do some prepping for the argument.
Yeah, it must be fascinating to do that kind of thing, and then see your work being presented to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Completely fascinating, and I really, obviously, we want to win this case. I think this may end up being the most important economic case that the Supreme Court ever takes up or has taken up. And it is so important for the people of Arizona. One of the reasons I chose to co-lead this lawsuit was because I believe that I know that our small businesses especially, but businesses across the state are being, hammered by these tariffs. Consumers are seeing prices increase. This is essentially, these tariffs are a tax on the people of Arizona. It's a 17.5% national sales tax, Ted. That's what it comes down to. And it was passed by one man. His name is Donald Trump, without congressional authorization. And our Constitution, all of these lawsuits, Ted, you've heard me say this before, come down to the Constitution and what our founding fathers said, and the law. In this case, the law, IEPA, that Trump used, doesn't even use the word tariffs in it.
So taking your complaint, boiling it down, making it easy to understand. From what I understand, is it taxation without representation? Is it the guy just isn't constitutionally aligned to do this thing?
It's both of those things. And so, it was really interesting to watch the justices parse through the case, and many of them, including and especially the conservative justices, were focused on the text of the law. So IEPA, which is the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, as I said, does not mention the word tariffs. It allows the president to deal with trade in terms of doing embargoes and sanctions, those kinds of things. But it does not say tariffs. It doesn't say the president has the right to do tariffs. There are some provisions in law under which a president has been delegated some very narrow power over tariffs, but those are time limited. Those are limited by, got to go back and check in with Congress. So there's a reason he picked IEPA. It's because It's totally open-ended, and he thought he could get away with it.
When you heard the questioning, and again, the reports are, and we heard some of the audio from the justices, seemed a little skeptical here, but also skeptical on the other side, which I'll get to in a second. But they seemed a little skeptical on the idea that one man can do all of this.
Right. I mean, you had people like Neil Gorsuch saying at the end of the hearing, I'm pretty sure that our founding fathers designated Congress as the body that deals with trade, that deals with tariffs and taxation. And he made the point that, if a president were to assume this power without approval from Congress, how does Congress get the power back? It was a great question.
What power does Congress have?
Well, it has the power to engage in tariffs, which are taxes. It has the power to tax. The president doesn't have that power, but this one, Donald Trump, assumed it unto himself. That's illegal, and that's why we brought this case. It's really important to the state of Arizona, Ted. It really is. 1 out of every 5 jobs in the state of Arizona is dependent in some way on international trade.
But as far as the constitutionality, and again, the question he asked, what power does Congress have if you don't have this? I mean, it was a very good question.
Right.
But there were also questions on the other side, and the Supreme Court, this court especially, tends to defer to executive authority. So they also asked things like, okay, if this is reversed, how do you reimburse everyone? What is the process for that? I thought that was a good question.
No, it's a great question. And I think pretty much everybody acknowledged and does acknowledge that it's a mess. The president has created a mess, but there is a process by which we're going to have to come up with if we win this case, and again, I hope we do win this case, that we're going to have to come up with to reimburse businesses essentially who have paid already, Ted, billions of dollars
in $90 billion
tariffs,
here.
$90 billion and counting. Who are going to be due refunds. And then, the other reason that I want the court to rule quickly is that, look, we're headed into the holiday season. We have folks who are paying higher prices in grocery stores, in department stores, online, because of these tariffs, which are higher taxes, and they need the relief now.
Were the justices as interested in that aspect of the argument as much as separation of powers?
Yeah, no, I think they were hyper-focused on the law. So I think they were focused on separation of powers, and they were focused on the textual reading of IEEPA, the law that Trump used to impose these worldwide tariffs and all the other tariffs.
Yeah.
So they were really focused in my mind, in those 2 areas. And then there was a third really interesting area, which was something that has come to be known as the major questions doctrine, and it's been used by conservatives kind of to attack sort of more liberal causes and policies, and it basically says that if Congress had, the president cannot do something, or agencies can't do something that are so major, so extraordinary, that really Congress would have done them if they had meant for them to be done. And when you think about it, what Trump has done with these tariffs is a major question that Congress would have done if it had wanted to.
So in other words, if Congress really wanted this, they would have mentioned it in the statute.
Correct.
They didn't, and so they probably don't.
Exactly.
Okay, it sounds like the private conference is set, I think, for the justices tomorrow. They could very well vote in the next weeks or months. We won't know, I think, probably down the line. But your impression was that there was enough skepticism there for that's a big decision if they overturn those tariffs.
It'll be one of the biggest decisions in the history of the United States Supreme Court. I saw, of course, I don't want to predict anything. I saw a majority of justices who were deeply skeptical of what Donald Trump has done with tariffs.
Let's talk about another lawsuit here. And just today, a federal judge in Rhode Island basically told the administration when it comes to SNAP benefits, administration wants to be, okay, well, maybe we'll do a partial send out of funds here for the month of November. Judge says no partial. Let's make it full. Talk about lawsuit, SNAP, Your position.
Yeah, so our position is that the president violated the law again by not using the $5 billion in contingency funds that the presidents have always used and must be used to fill in the gap when you have a government shutdown. What has happened instead is that the president had said, no, we're not going to pay those SNAP benefits for the month of November. Basically, they were going to let Americans and Arizonans go hungry right before Thanksgiving, during the month of Thanksgiving, which is outrageous. And we filed a lawsuit to stop that, and we won. At least now we believe 50% will be paid out pursuant to that judge's order.
And that judge's order, and now we got this latest judge's order today, says no, none of this 50-65, full.
Full, yeah. Looks like the Trump administration, we just learned, is going to appeal that full portion of the decision, but we're hoping at least 50%. Like Ted, we're talking about the average SNAP benefit for the families that get them, is about $336, I think, or $350. Half of that, you do the math, it's not very much money, but it's the difference between hunger and not being hungry.
But so much of this right now is in limbo. When do these cards get reloaded? What happens here? Whether it's partial, whether it's full, something should be happening. When's it going to happen?
We're working with DES to try to get DES ready for as soon as the money hits the bank account. So, we believe the Trump administration, hopefully the Trump administration will send the money, along, but we want to be ready. We think DES will be ready to quickly issue those EBT cards.
And if the government shutdown continues, what happens on December 1st?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question, right? This is a calamity in the making, and what needs to happen, obviously I support Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallego, who are, saying, look, we need the Republicans to negotiate with us, because that's what negotiators do. That's what you do in Congress. You talk to one another. They are fighting for the ACA premiums to not be slashed. I mean, keep in mind, we are dealing with, Arizonans are dealing with a triple whammy. The loss of SNAP benefits, the increase of health insurance premiums in the ACA by Trump and the Republicans in Congress, and these tariff price increases and taxes. And so we need them to come together, but the Republicans have to do that.
Government shutdown, though, is that the best way to get that done?
Boy, I don't know how else are you going to get it done? I mean, you got to remember, this is an administration, the Trump administration, that continues to do things like pocket rescissions after Congress has negotiated a budget deal. If you're a member of Congress, how do you trust this administration to not come behind you after you do a deal and erase what was done? And so they're trying to hold firm, because this is their opportunity to get these ACA premiums fixed so that people don't lose their health insurance.
All right, boy, we could go on about that. But before you go, I want to talk about Adelita Grijalva. And again, you filed a lawsuit. She's filed a lawsuit here. Basically, the Speaker of the House completely dismissed your lawsuit, completely dismissed you. How do you respond to that? I mean, he just says you have nothing to do with this. You're looking for national attention. Get out of here.
I think he said something like, "Bring it, sister." So I don't know. I brought it, brother. I brought it, brother. It's kind of, so they have not responded, as I understand it, to our lawsuit. I'll say this on your show, Ted. We are looking at all of our options right now. There are additional legal options available to us, and so watch this space next week. It's unacceptable that the state of Arizona, and especially Adelita Grijalva's congressional district, 813,000 people are being taxed without representation, and they deserve a member of Congress. We voted for her. The state voted for her. She's been certified. It's time for Mike Johnson to swear her in. Ted, there's also a new member of Congress that was just elected, I think, on Tuesday in Texas. who now has to be sworn. What is he going to do? Deprive Texas of their congressional representation?
I'm glad you got the taxation with our I think I put that in the tariff thing. I was all
It's both.
discombobulated. Yeah, discombobulated. Before you go, though, I got to ask the legal question here, because some people are saying, Adelita Grijalva filing that, she suffered harm from this. You don't necessarily, they say, have standing. And
so we both filed. I mean, so
yes,
yeah.
But how do you have standing? Where is the personal harm to you?
Well, it's a harm to the state. So I'm the top legal officer for the state of Arizona, and in particular for this district. So not only so Adelita is a plaintiff, and I am the state of Arizona through me are both plaintiffs in the lawsuit that we filed. And we worked together on that lawsuit. So obviously covering our bases there, but certainly the harm to the state is that we are down one member of Congress. We're supposed to have 9, and we have 8 at this point.
And last question on this. We've heard reasons why people think Speaker Johnson is withholding Adelita Grijalva, the swearing in. Why do you think he's doing it?
I mean, I think that your mind has to go to the Epstein files, and what other reason is there? It's certainly not legitimate, but it's a reason for him to not only be not swearing her in. We'll see what he does with this Texas representative, but also, I don't know, is it playing into the shutdown as well? Because if you come back into session to deal with the shutdown, then you've got to swear them in. So, I mean, you have to ask the question, are the Epstein files also influencing this shutdown? Who knows? But whatever the reason, it's unconstitutional, and we're going to continue to fight for our representation in Congress.
Attorney General Kris Mayes, always a pleasure. Good to have you here. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Ted.
I never thought I would be a ballerina.
And yet she became one. Meet acclaimed prima ballerina Tyler Peck. From her early success through a career-threatening injury to becoming a choreographer, enjoy Tyler Peck's Suspending Time.
What is life without dance?
On Great Performances.
Friday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
Next time on Father Brown, when a man comes to town with his daughter, he's murdered. His daughter is accused of the crime.
Please, Father, help me.
And while Father Brown believes she's innocent, proving it will be extremely difficult. Father Brown.
Saturday night at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Next time,
Coming to bingo.
a care home resident is murdered,
Stabbed with her own knitting needle.
and Neville is confused by something.
She made a full house. That's like the holy grail of bingo.
So why didn't she shout house?
Death in Paradise.
Saturday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
Economists are seeing a cutback in consumer spending in Arizona. That's of note for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is that lower sales tax revenues could impact the state budget. Joining us now is economist Dale Rogers from ASU's W.P. Carey School of Business. You're here to talk about this, Dale. Good to see you. Thank you for joining
Great to be with you.
And I love that tie.
Thank you.
It's the greenest bow tie I think I've ever seen.
It's a very green bow tie.
Yes,
you're
it
right.
is. And we also have the report from the Arizona Finance Advisory Committee. 90% of Arizonans are spending less right now. The top 10% of income earners, wage earners, they're spending. They're spending quite a bit. But the rest of us, I should say, aren't. What's going on here?
It's interesting because I've been on a lot of planes lately, and the front of the plane is totally full. and the back of the plane is way less people in it than normally. So that kind of economic grief, it's hurting the lower part of the economy the most, but it also is hurting the airlines and grocery stores, and there's a lot of things working against the lower end of the economy. It's really clear this year that the new administration is really on the side of the rich guys. You can really tell a difference.
It also looks as though wage growth doing pretty well for higher income earners, not so well for lower wage earners. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Absolutely true. Plus, there's some other things happening at the same time. You know, we're seeing some new college graduates even have difficulty getting a job because of the uncertainty in the economy right now. What are we doing with tariffs? You just had Attorney General Mays on. You know, are they legal? Are they not? I think they're illegal, but we'll see what the Supreme Court says. And then also the investment in AI, which is really driving the stock market, is crowding out a lot of other things. And people think they need less people because of the investment in AI.
Yeah, we talked about that with job growth. I think earlier in the week. Yeah, about how businesses are saying I might not need so many people because AI is going to fill in the slack. That AI, some people are calling it a bubble on the stock market. Do you think it's a bubble?
Well, I don't in the long run. I mean, the numbers are pretty inflated. Like, I remember in 2021 when NVIDIA, which is driven by AI investment now, they make GPUs and you need those for AI. I remember in 2021 when they hit $1 trillion in market capitalization and value of the company, and I thought, how can they be worth $1 trillion? And then this past week they hit $5 trillion.
Yeah, they're number one.
Just 4 years later.
Yeah.
And so are they really worth $5 trillion? Man, it'd be great if they were, but gosh, that seems like a lot. So I don't know.
So stock markets playing a factor, tariffs playing a factor, rising prices playing a factor.
SNAP, you talked to Attorney General Mays about SNAP. You know, it's interesting if you look at the numbers in Arizona. So there's 923,000 people in Arizona on SNAP. That is 12.2%, or if you do the fraction, that's 1 out of 8. That's 1 out of 8 people. And so reduction of benefits, certainly in the short term, is of course going to do less spending. And if you look at the supply chain where stuff is coming in for Christmas before, earlier this year, I mean, July was the all-time record month at the Port of Los Angeles in terms of containers arrive in the history of 117 years of the Port of LA. And so some of that demand got actually pulled forward. And so there's going to be less spending, which that's clearly going to impact tax revenues here.
And that's where I want to talk next. Tax revenue, especially when it comes to Arizona and the general fund, the impact on programs that you're going to have to find the money somewhere.
Yeah, and we've had a pretty good rainy day fund sometimes recently in the state of Arizona, but this year all that money I bet disappears.
You think they use a rainy day fund? They got like $1 billion.
Well, I think I think it's going to be some really difficult decisions at the state level. I'm sure you're probably going to talk about that on the Journalist Roundtable tomorrow. But there's going to be some really tough decisions. And, we do the Logistics Managers Index, which I talked to you about most months. And we're clearly seeing some signs that could signal a slowdown in the economy. We don't know for sure it's a slowdown in the economy, but we're in a negative freight inversion where transportation capacities are outpacing transportation prices. And that often happens before we see a slowdown. Because before it goes into GDP, it goes on a truck and a train and goes into a warehouse and so on. So it's an interesting time. And at the same time, we're putting tariffs on and making things more expensive. We're also screwing up the labor market. the Trump administration has been incredibly effective at closing the border, but all those farm workers, all those folks that were sort of making the economy go at a lower labor cost per hour, many of them have either been arrested and deported or they're afraid. And so at the same time, you're seeing a hit on the tariff side, an increase in taxation, you're also seeing reduced labor.
Is this the kind of thing, and I'm kind of running out of time here, but I want to make sure we get this in. Is this the kind of thing, though, that the president and the administration and his supporters would say, it's a correction. We need to get through this so that we can get back on the right track because we have been on the wrong track for so long?
Well, one of the crazy things, Ted, is that when you think by putting tariffs on, particularly stuff upstream like steel and aluminum, which is far upstream, that you put tariffs on, you're going to bring manufacturing back. And certainly for the next couple of years, if the tariffs stayed on, and we don't know if they will or they won't, and what's going to happen, you're going to see the Trump administration probably shift from tariffs on a country to tariffs on particular commodities. If you see that, we're going to see less manufacturing. ISM report this week shows a reduction in manufacturing.
All right, we got to stop you right there. Good stuff. Dale Rogers, you and your tie, thanks for joining us.
Thank
we appreciate
you.
it.
Nice to be with you.
Good to
always,
have
Ted.
you. You bet. And that is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.